Yo, this your man Bonte 83 for Successful Convicts. And of course, this is 4 o'clock count. 4 o'clock count, where we pay homage to those doing time in the Federal Bureau of Prisons as well as the state prisons too. But we know in the federal system at 4 o'clock, you have to stand up. You have to say your inmate number. You have to stand in your cell or wherever you at. And it's the 4 o'clock count. Everybody got to stand up. It's a stand-up count. And unless you medically incapable, everybody is standing up. So here at 4 o'clock, we pay homage to the 4 o'clock count. So let's kick it off with a moment of silence for those standing as we are right now. And the moment of silence is over because we don't want to spend too much time being silent because time is of the essence and we got a few things to talk about. One of the first things I want to talk about today is blessings. Blessings, you got to count your blessings. And a lot of people, they more so concentrate on their downfalls or the downturns in their life. And it's so much stuff to be grateful for. Whereas the few things that's not going right, ain't no sense to even dwell on them and sit there and, think about those and count and, this ain't going right. That ain't going right. You know what I mean? You do better count the things that are going right than to sit there and try to count the things that's not going right. Because if you do that count, you will see that more things are going right than you probably even thought about. Not only that, you won't take them for granted because we already know being on this side of the fence is way better than being on that other side of the fence. That itself is a huge blessing. And the only blessing above that is being able to see this side of the fence, being alive. See, a lot of times we don't even take the fact that we're alive into consideration. We get so caught up in complaining and whining and crying about our situations. They may not be where we want to be, or we may not be doing what we want to do, or we might be in some unconsiderable circumstances, like, for instance, probation, parole, supervised release, and stuff like that, which limits us from doing certain things that if we weren't under those conditions that we can do. Like, for instance, traveling, going out of town, like it might be a family vacation, or let's just say like it's a family reunion. Say the family reunion, you live in Chicago, the family reunion is in Atlanta, but you can't go because you tied to some type of disciplinary action like probation, supervised release, parole, et cetera, and you can't go, even house arrest. And when you're in these type of things, it's not like computer generated. You have to actually deal with another person. And in dealing with another person, we already know how that go. You have to go off that person's intuition or that person's thought process about your life. And that itself can be a damper, but at the same time, we can't lose focus of the big picture. And the big picture is that it's only temporary or it's just for that moment, because there is a such thing as lifetime probation, and that's probation for the rest of your life, which is a sticky deal because it's almost like giving you a long rope to hang yourself with. But all in all, still blessed to be here, still blessed to be out and not in prison. So don't get caught up in taking that for granted. Another blessing is knowledge. Every day you're alive, you can obtain knowledge. Now, a lot of times people don't go forth and obtain the knowledge, or people don't even know where to look for knowledge. Well, one place you can look, of course, is Successful Convicts YouTube channel, because I'm trying to bring, I try to bring comedy and stuff like that. That's just to make you laugh. But a lot of times we want to laugh to keep from crying. But the knowledge, not only yourself, but the things that's going on around you. Like a lot of things is going on these days and times. And it's a lot of opportunities that we have, because one thing I noticed about getting out of prison, they're going to present you with all the things you can't do. They're going to present you with all the different things you can't partake in. But who's really telling you about the things that you can partake in? And not only that, how many people are actually trying to do things that they can't do anyway? Like, for instance, this was, I want to say, two plus years ago, because it probably was my time looking back is always off. But so years ago, the ATF took on the responsibilities of handling the applications for the FOI card, and that's the Federal Owner's Identification Card. That means your gun permit, having, the ability to get a gun permit. So before that, it was a different entity that handled those applications, but due to all the budget crunches and all this type of stuff, they say, you know what, we're closing this department down, and now it's going to be up to the ATF to handle those applications. So in my thinking mind, I said, okay, now they're going to be flooded with applications. They're going to have to put this duty on someone who's already doing something else because they've added responsibility to the ATF. So in my mind, I figured maybe I could slip through the cracks and get my firearms owner identification card, which would be correct because they gave it to me. I applied and they gave it to me. So I applied for it, hoping that I can slip through the cracks of the newfound abundance of paperwork, but it didn't work. They sent me a letter saying, you were convicted of yada, 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 and you can never own a firearm. So, but I had to try it because nothing beats a failure but a try. If you don't try, then you might as well it's not that you might as well, but you're accepting failure. And we know as a successful convict, as a successful person, period, we don't accept nothing unless it's beyond our, it's something we can't do. But we're not just going to accept it. Like, for instance, you go to the bank, you try to get a loan. They tell you, oh, you're not approved. Are you just going to stop there? Are you just going to say, oh, this bank said I couldn't get the money? No. As a successful person, as a successful convict, you're going to try at another bank. Or you're going to do what you got to do, fix whatever the situation was where they told you couldn't do something, and you're going to get it done because, hey, failure is part of the success, because the failure is the teaching moment to teach you how to be successful. Because if you're walking up the stairs and you trip, why did you trip? Now you know what not to do. You see what I'm saying? So we got to take those failures in to add to our success. Hold on a second. You got to drink more waters too. And unless you're in a place, used to say in a third world country or another country, but in these days and times, we have cities in the United States where they don't even have clean water or access to clean water, which is a doggone shame, but it is what it is, right? Another blessing. Like I said, you got to count these blessings. When you start counting your blessings, even the little ones are going to stack up, and you're going to see how far and blessed you really are. Because a lot of times we don't even realize how blessed we are because we so down on our the bad things in life. And without the bad, we wouldn't even realize what the good is. So that's why the bad plays a part in the good as well. So we got to be blessed. Oh, another thing too, I want to stress this, and I think I'm going to stress this every time I speak. Get your financial literacy together. I've been talking to people, and I can't even tell you how many times I talk to people and ask them about credit cards, and they tell me they don't have credit cards. Or the worst thing, they don't want credit cards. Do you know the value of credit? A lot of people don't. And that's what I'm aiming to try to put a lot of people up on, the value of credit, the importance of credit, and how to get credit. because we all got credit. It's just some people got good credit, some people got bad credit. But that's one of my missions this year, to teach my people, my ex-felons, my ex-convicts, about credit and how to get credit, because it's very important in these days and times. It's almost like a necessity in life. And a lot of us are failing in that part of our life because we don't have the necessary things that we need to straighten out our credit. We don't know about credit. And a lot of us really don't even care about credit because we've been so used to that old system where cash is king. And it's a blessing. Goes back to those blessings. It's a blessing to be even in a position to share that knowledge with people. And it's also a blessing to even be in that position to get that knowledge. So without me, you know what I'm saying? Without you is no me. And maybe without me is no you, depending on who you are. You know what I'm saying? But that's my goal, to help people, because I got people helping me. So, I mean, I don't want to make this a long, drawn out thing. The moral to the story is count your blessings, because we all know being on this side of the fence is a way bigger, better blessing to be on the other side of the fence, inside, waiting on that CO to come down the hall and make you, well, not even make you, but tell you to state your inmate number and sit there with your ID in your hand and wait on that just so the count can clear. Activities can resume, which the next activity after 4 o'clock count is chow. Go there, eat what they got planned for you, unless you're going to eat out your locker, stuff you bought off commissary. So think about that. Next time you feel yourself want to complain, start counting the stuff that you got in your life. Start with life itself, number one. Number two, the fact that you're not locked up. And then you go on from there, because that's the top two that we all share in common. Everything else can be different. Oh, I got $1 million. Oh, I got $1. Oh, I don't have no dollars, but you know what I'm saying? I got potential to make money. But we all got life. And we all got life on the outside. So on that note, count is clear. Resume all activities on the compound. And until next time, may y'all stay blessed and highly favored.